Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea, back with another day of our best bets today. Definitely not our best work yesterday for either of us. We'll start with you, Korea. Tough 0-2 day. One run away in the Pirates game. I think it was 4-0 in the soccer game. So, what were your takeaways from your two plays yesterday?
We'll start with the Premier League matchup. I had Crystal. The second part of the bet hit. Obviously, Crystal Palace team total of 1.5. If you did that as a straight bet, congratulations. I was around minus 140, so wanted to pair it up for a little juice reduce. But that was the killer. Because Man United, thank you for not showing up. They did not try. They had no effort. They lost 4-0 on the road and they didn't put up any goals. So that was a tough one. When the team you back doesn't show up, you're not going to win. So that was a tough one there. But nice to see Crystal Palace. If you did play that separate, I know it was like 140, like I said earlier. That was a winner for you. They obviously got 4 goals. And then the Angels Pirates. Oh, it couldn't have got any worse, Ari. I see a grand slam in the bottom of the fourth, and I'm thinking, oh my God, all we need is one run to cash this over first five over 4.5. And then I check the score. Like in the seventh inning, I see the Angels scored. They get a home run in the top of the sixth. Oh my God, you can't even make this up. It was just one of those days. After the 3-0 day combined, as already said on Thursday. Obviously it was not the start that I wanted. 0-2 day today. Excuse me, 0-2 day yesterday. But it was just some tough beats. The Angels getting one run, literally the inning after in the top of the sixth. Man United just not showing up at all. They had their opportunities to score. I even talked about it yesterday. We needed if Crystal Palace would have scored two in the first half, it would be amazing, and they did. And I was like, okay, Man United, all you need to do is score one in 70 minutes. They didn't even do that. So just tough. 0-2 day, but we're gonna bounce back. Obviously, Ari, do you even want to talk about yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I had a loss in the push. The Padres game is 0-0 through five. Then they score 6 runs in the sixth inning right after the first five. I got a little too cute. I thought about it again, and like with how bad the Cubs bullpen is, I should have taken the full game because their situation in the bullpen has not been great. But I just wanted to, you know, go against Steele, which I didn't lose but didn't win. So just whatever. And then the Mariners was tough to watch the entire game. Credit to Woods Richardson. 3 innings in, he set his career high in strikeouts. So that's basically how that went. And then they finally get him out after 6 innings. Seventh inning, they base loaded, nobody out, down 1-0, and they get one run in the sac fly to tie it. But base loaded, nobody out. Also, you hope to score more than one run, which they didn't. And then the next inning, they give up the lead again, and at that point, it was over. You felt like with how they looked all night, and the Twins back end of the bullpen's obviously strong with Durant pitched the eighth inning, so you kind of knew at that point it was highly unlikely that they were going to win, unfortunately, and that's what happened. So yeah, tough day for both of us. Obviously yesterday, strong finish of the week last week, tough start to this week, but we'll bounce back today.
Yeah, you mentioned with the Mariners. Look, Woods Richardson. We were not familiar with your game, my brother. We were clowning you for facing the White Sox and the Tigers, and we even said it. We said, the Mariners aren't a formidable lineup. They were not a formidable lineup yesterday, as already mentioned. He set his career number in strikeouts throughout the first 3 innings, and there's 9 batters through the first 3 innings. So take that, take that as you will. How the Mariners did yesterday. And then obviously you mentioned the Padres first five money line. If you would have saw the total game at the end and you would have said that this game was 0-0 through 5 innings, you would have completely shocked yourself too. So it's just one of those days for us, 2-1, unfortunately, but we're obviously going to bounce back. As already said, we're only on day one of the week, continuing on today to Tuesday into our best bets for today. And I got 3 of them for today. I know we're going back to soccer. I'm going to get into a little bit of that in a little bit, but we're going to the Diamond first, and I'm going to go with the Red Sox here, plus 1.5. That's minus 135. We're mostly backing Cutter Crawford here, and it's the big bad scary Braves. Oh no! Well, let me tell you, these big bad scary Braves are near dead last when it comes of hitting against right-handed pitchers in the last, I think, 4 weeks. So Braves offense is cold, and Cutter Crawford is one of the better right-handers in that Red Sox rotation. We're just backing them to cover the plus 1.5 run line here at minus 135. On the other side, they got Reynaldo Lopez for the Braves, and yeah, even though he doesn't have the best splits, we're just going to be backing the pitching matchup here. I'm backing the Red Sox to make this game a little bit close. I do like to sprinkle on the money line, but with the bullpens getting in potentially after the fifth or sixth inning, I just would really like the Red Sox to really cover that 1.5 one line. I do like the money line as a potential, but if I was going to lean anywhere, I would lean the Red Sox first five. But I know there's going to be too juiced, and you're asking a little too much for the Red Sox to not only be be close but have a lead. That's just a little too much. I'm just going to take the Red Sox to cover, and I see good value at minus 135 there for the Red Sox plus 1.5. So we're going to back the Red Sox today, plus 1.5 at minus 135. Just mostly backing Cutter Crawford. The Braves kind of struggling with the bats right now, can't really get anything. A lot of people are saying that the Braves, are due or they'll get out of the slump. We'll see. We'll see if that's today or not. So I'm taking the Red Sox plus 1.5 at minus 135, and then we're going up to the Bronx here in a good old fashioned rivalry between the Astros and the Yankees, and we're going to take the Yankees just through the first five money line at minus 130 here. We're just fading Justin Verlander in this spot. These two teams know each other very well. Justin Verlander knows this Yankees team very well. Juan Soto knows Justin Verlander very well. You see all the names that I'm mentioning along Justin Verlander, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, all those guys in the Yankees lineup. They know Justin Verlander. We all know that infamous home run that Juan Soto had when he was a national against the Astros. I'm just taking Verlander, and his, obviously his age is coming to him, so he's not as dominant as he was before, but he's still a formidable pitcher in baseball. But I'm fading him in this spot on the road. The Yankees, as I said, the Yankees lineup knows him very well. On the other side, we talked about him last week, Luis Hill. We talked about how he's better at home. Well, here he is in his home spot. The Astros, even though with their bats, obviously the main thing kind of propelling them in games. I expect, I hope Luis Gill, and I expect him to, at least get through 5 innings, without too much damage there. I'm just backing the Yankees here through the first 5 on the money line, minus 130. I'm backing, the better team in the better spot here at home. We talked about how the Astros have not really had the greatest pitching, this year, as we've seen in recent history with this team. And then the Yankees, obviously one of the better teams at home. They're facing a familiar face, and with how strong this lineup is, I expect the Yankees to come out to a lead through 5 innings. So I'm taking the Yankees through the first 5 at minus 130. And then we're going to the Champions League. I know. We are running the exact same play we had from last week. If you can find this from last Wednesday, Ari. You can find this from last Wednesday, and I was talking about this game. We're just going to run it back today. We're running it back today. Why? Because if this man, Kylian Mbappe, does not score in a game where he needs to get to the UCL final, I don't know what to say. It's like asking Kobe to step up in a game 7 spot. Like you don't think Kobe Bryant is not going to step up in a game 7? What are we doing here? This is their game 7. They're down 1-0. They have to have at least 2 goals to at least advance, and one of them is going to come from Mbappe today. But I do like both teams to score here. That's the one I'm a little nervous about, but I do like Dortmund to make this game a little bit interesting. I already know PSG is going to be focusing on their goals. Their back line is not going to be as strong, maybe for the first few minutes, and that's where Dortmund can maybe sneak one in, make things a little interesting, and ask PSG to come back from a little bit more of a deficit to potentially tie this and potentially even maybe send this into extras or get the win. So we're just asking both teams to score this time through. We saw last week, which the amount of chances, I talked about it on Thursday with Mbappe, Hakimi, Dembele, all those guys for PSG. They had multiple chances hitting the hitting the post, and I think all 3 of them hit the post like on the same counter attack. I don't even remember, but I'm backing both teams to score this time through. We talked about how PSG, their defense at home is a little bit better, but I do expect Dortmund to make this a little interesting with their counter attack as well. So I do like both teams to score, and then right now Mbappe to score I think is minus 225 on DraftKings. So you might as well just throw that in there because, like I said, if he doesn't score, this is going to be the biggest letdown of his career. You can honestly say, because of how big of the moment it is. This is This ain't no weekend matchup in League One, in League A1. Okay, no, in Liga Un. Okay, this is no regular season. This is the UCL. This is the top of the. This is the cream of the crop. This is his moment, and I know he always steps up in the big moments. So we're just asking him to step up and get one goal hit today. You get that you get that parlay. I combined -105. I love that today. Those are my three plays. The Red Sox a +1.5 on the run line. The Yankees first five money line, and then PSG Dortmund both teams to score, and Mr. Kylian Mbappe himself to score at -140, -105. That two leg parlay, same game. Ari, we're gonna bounce back today. I'm looking at a 3-0 card. What have you cooked up today?
Yeah, back to two plays. I'm on similar kind of with the Yankees Astros, except I'm going with the first five under 4.5. Like you said, we talked last week. I think it was about Gill and his success at home. 1.8 ERA. It's only been two starts, obviously, of course, but Rays and Blue Jays in those two starts, so not for at least formidable lineups he's faced and had success against. And looking for him to do the same against the Astros, and then the Yankees are on the other side. Verlander, just kind of looking at. I mean, there is a lot of at bats against him in the Yankees lineup, but not a ton of success. I was looking. Judge is 6 for 37. Rizzo's 0 for 8. Soto's 2 for 11. Stanton's 5 for 26. Torres 6 for 29. Volpe 0 for 9. So just some of their notable starters. Histories against Verlander. Obviously there's a way where we can both win this. If it's like, say, 2-0 Yankees or whatever, they get a couple runs off him and Gill, shuts out Houston or 2-1 or 3-2 or not 3-2, 3-1. But yes, there's obviously ways where we can both hit. But yeah, just backing both starting pitchers through the first five in that one. And then going to the Royals ML with Seth Lugo at home. Lugo's been pretty much lights out. So is Colin Rea for the Brewers for the most part. So I considered also an under here in this game. But the Royals bats, just with how solid they've been, overall in the season, the Brewers have kind of been the Brewers, what they are every year. With some games, they look really good, and then some days the lineup doesn't look as good. So I'm just more confident in backing the Royals at home. With Lugo on the mound. So yeah, those two plays for me to get back on track. Yankees, Astros, first five under, and then the Royals ML.
I was also looking at the Yankees Astros first five under as well. But that was probably my secondary play. So I hope we do with maybe like a two, as you mentioned, a 2-0 or maybe hopefully maybe a 3-0 Yankees lead after five. Who knows? That's maybe asking a little too much, but I do like that play for you. You mentioned Verlander and his success in recent history against a considerable amount of the Yankees lineup. As you mentioned with the recent splits, but as well, you mentioned Luis Hill. We talked about him and his success at home. I do like that play for you. Been going over to Kansas City with the Royals money line. It's kind of crazy that I'm wearing royal blue today for your Royals pick, Ari. Maybe that's a sign that the Royals are going to win today, but I do like Seth Lugo at home. You mentioned he has been one of the key guys for this Royals rotation alongside Cole Reagans. And then even though you mentioned the Brewers, obviously with their hot start, the Brewers lineup is always a hot and cold lineup, I like to call them. Sometimes they'll have games where they'll score 6-7 runs, and some games will even have we'll struggle to get 6 or 7 hits. So that's kind of how that's how this Brewers team is. And Seth Lugo, even though he has been a little bit inconsistent in recent history, in San Diego, now in Kansas City, I think he has found a good formidable home for now. And I think the Royals at that price is definitely a great price for you at -125 in this matchup. Even though Colin Rea has not been that bad himself. I did look at the splits, and they're not the greatest against the Royals, who obviously know how to hit the ball. So I do like the Royals here at home, and then hopefully we can both win with the Yankees and Astros. Me with the money line, and then obviously you with the first one under 4.5. Those are always plays. Going back to mine, as I mentioned, the Yankees first five, Red Sox +1.5, and then going to our same game UCL parlay with PSG and Dortmund both to score, and then Mr. Kylian Mbappe himself, Superman, to score. That's a 2-leg -105. Obviously, you can find all of these plays and this video on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. We will have our full card and video posted momentarily, but that is going to do it for this episode. Tomorrow, we will be back, and we know there's going to be a Nerfie we will be taking. So the Nerfie streams will be back tomorrow, so tune into that. But that's going to do it for this episode. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys.